And they should have made that developer incorporate large retail and
walkability,
exactly
things of that nature. So you said that the cab has been focusing on the roads and on drainage and sustainability. Where are they with that?
When I go to these meetings, and I've been to the last past two, that is the common theme. The drainage issues and the roads. There was a lady that say, hey, they're proposing this new development on Lawrenceville Highway, and the plan is to dump water into our backyard. Yeah, everybody's talking about the roads. I remember growing up how smooth the roads were. And
they're still smooth in Dunwoody. They're still smooth in North DeKalb.
I mean, the county used to do the roads. This contracting out, it's almost like on a national level where they couldn't put the cars out because all the chips were made in China and China wouldn't send the chips. Because I mean, I don't care what street you're on, you hit holes. I mean, I know people's cars stay in the shop.
Yeah.
From hitting these holes.
I live on the DeKalb line in Henry County, and when I make that left-hand turn on 155 and make that right on Panola,
yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. And I mean, when you look at the amount of money they're spending, I think it should be a halt right now. The whole program needs to be reevaluated because the job isn't getting done.
What are your thoughts on Cop City and how much has the cab invested in?
That's probably the cheaper part of the county, and it's close to the city limits of Atlanta. Even though it's not in the city limits of Atlanta, it's very close.
Is that in South DeKalb?
It's in South DeKalb. I'm a capitalist. When we talk about development, we're not talking about the police Cop City stuff. I mean, it makes more sense to just redevelop that and sell that back to a developer in DeKalb County that wants to bring in shopping centers, grocery stores, keep some of it for green space, parks.
But property values have gone down quite a bit, so collections are going to be down this year. So a lot of counties are going to have tough decisions in terms of maintaining the annual budget that they had just a year ago.
In DeKalb County, we used to have trash pick up twice a week. It used to be free to dump if you were a resident of DeKalb. Now, like some people, they don't pick up the trash, so then they have to hire somebody to take their stuff to the dump. On Saturdays, it's crazy. You sit in a long line. I think it's a minimum $16-something.
Well, there's been some movement on Marta. You know much about that?
Yeah, I went to the meeting. I think it was earlier this month, or maybe the end of last month. Like I said, I had a lot of going on. But they're proposing, I don't think it's light rail. They call it something else, but it's gonna connect either Decatur Station or Avondale Station to the South Campus on, I think it used to be Georgia Perimeter, but I think it's Georgia State now, off of Panthersville.
Okay, so it is coming down this way, somewhat.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
you said light rail?
I don't know the exact name.
Bus rapid transit?
Bus rapid transit.
Okay.
That's what it's gonna be. To me, at the minimum, it should be light rail.
But you already have buses traveling in those corridors. I'm not sure why, decisions aren't made for connectivity from South DeKalb to downtown Atlanta, South DeKalb to Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson. That's where most people are traveling.
I think a solution. I don't know, if anybody at Marta will hear this, but it's gonna be more expensive to run it. Like if we're trying to get rail down 20 or from the cab to the airport, I think it'll be a lot more affordable if they ran the rail in the opposite direction from the airport through Clayton through Henry to the cab, or through the airport through Clayton to the cab.
You can use existing rail lines as well through Norfolk Southern. I know in Henry County they were talking about that a number of years ago. Seems like everything that has to do with the South Side always comes to an abrupt stop for some strange reason. We can't.
Public transportation serves people, for the most part, who are economically disadvantaged. Okay, that's where they get their revenue.
So when you look at the areas that say they don't want public transportation, just look at them. You know, you got areas in Henry County, but anywhere you see people saying, I don't want this, I don't want that. You see pawn shops, you see Walmart, you see gas stations, you see used auto shops. That's what you see in areas that don't have mass transit. But when you look at areas that have mass transit, what do you see? You see white collar, you see Class A office, you see money. I mean, just look at every area in the metro area that has mass transit rail.
A lot of times, people use public transportation to get back and forth to work. To your credit, they have bus stops on East Paces and West Paces Ferry, because people that maybe doing domesticated work or whatever back in the day, that's how they got to work. The model was originally supposed to be in 5 counties, right? Fulton, DeKalb, Clayton.
DeKalb's still paying for Marta, right?
Still paying for it. I know people on 212 walking, but every time they go to the store, Marta gets money.
Stonecrest.
They had bought up some land, and it never was built.
They did the same thing to Clayton County
Yeah.
as well.
Well, Clayton just now came on board.
No, Clayton started paying a tax, man, a few years ago to get, I think, rail.
Okay.
And then now they're talking about they can't afford the rail, even though they've been paying into it for a number of years. They're talking about bus rapid transit. We can't get the investment that we deserve in the South Metro.
We go along to get along instead of getting what we're supposed to get. Somebody end up in the Georgia legislature or something. But I won't be up there trying to pass a whole bunch of laws that's gonna negatively impact people that look like me. What I want to be up there
Are you gonna
where's
be,
the money? Where's the money
Are you gonna
for
be?
my community?
Are you gonna be involved in local politics to get your name in the paper? Or are you gonna fight for major issues that benefit us all across the state?
Well, that's the job. So, if you go there, it's about fighting for issues across the state.
So local legislation should be bought by the local government or the constituents locally. If you're elected to the House or the Senate, I don't think you should have your nose in local government unless they ask you to.
That's true. I'd agree with that.
That's my position.
No, I would agree with that because it's a line of communication where the local people should be saying, "Hey, this is what we need. This is what is affecting us," not the opposite way around.
And there should be a law written around that.
Yeah, but securing funds is a whole nother thing, and I don't think that we have people there that are in our community's best interest in this part of the state, that's collecting the funds that we rightfully deserve.
Correct.
It's hard to catch up. We're already behind.
Correct.
And then we're letting them dictate where the money goes.